C. Moses, shout out.
Hey, awesome.
All right, so let me start off by saying this. I'm a second-year ref. My reluctance to come on was because I don't want to speak for all the referees in college football.
No, I respect.
At the same time, the progress that I've been seeing from being a fan, being a player to a fan, like just watching it without having like an emphasis on like what I'm learning, but then understanding what the refs are learning and how they're teaching it to them, it makes sense for where they want to take the game. So I'll speak for myself and kind of on behalf of the refs, but I didn't want to go 1-on-3 on like defending all the referees. Shit, I'm starting in like D3.
We understand.
Yeah, so that's what I want to start, because I was like, should I really go on here and like speak on behalf of them? I know where you guys are coming from. I get it. Like, I mean, I'm a back judge. I played corner. I understand like the physicality and what we want to stay, but also like I kind of understand what they're doing with the actual rule book and how we're supposed to interpret it. So yeah, let's talk.
Here's my question. Do you think that rules are set up for the betterment of the players or the perceived betterment of the game to keep people healthy? Because it doesn't keep people healthy. So what's the point?
So a few things especially with this year. So they're trying to run the clock a little bit more. There's going to be less plays in college football this year.
Why?
To help with, I mean, if you are playing 10 snaps on both sides of the ball, that's the real reason they're trying to do it, so they can fit in more playoff games at the end of the year.
Which is more games, which is more risk, it's just crazy.
So, but Matt, listen, see how they're trying to do it. So like they slowly implement it. So now the games are going to get a little bit shorter. We're going to get more on the back end. That's not going to be this year. But in the meantime, we're saying, why the fuck are they doing it? But in 5 years from now, it's going to make sense. The same thing with targeting. Like those hits that they're taking out, that's why I started to like go against you guys, because the targeting, I did see why they took out some of these big hits.
Well, okay.
Players would get like stuck. Like it was like,
look, I'm not advocating for spearing people and like launching. I like it. That's why I wanted to play football. Fuck you guys. I'm not going to sit here and act like that's not why I signed up originally. When I was 14 years old and the coach walked in and said, "You're big, you're strong, you're athletic. You want to go to college for free?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I never played before. And he's like, "Just go full speed and run through people." And I was like, "I can do that." And then I just learned the game as it went. So I played because of the physicality, not because of fucking Instagram accounts and Twitter and blowjobs and fucking bullshit. I just wanted to hit motherfuckers. So I'm not saying that like the ref shouldn't call that. I'm asking right now, why is Smitty's neck and head and brain and mine at guard and 3 technique, why are they less important than yours at corner and you're the back judge? When I pull and strike him at defensive end, that is equally as fucking aggressive and even more forceful than a safety hitting a receiver.
Have
you ever walked to the end of the line of scrimmage and gotten hit by a guard full speed that can play?
It doesn't feel good.
I guess my response is there's not a different set of rules. There's not a different set of rules.
You're
not going to talk to me. You're not looking at the back judge like throw this hold or throw this.
I'm not asking to the back judge to throw a penalty though. Hold on. I'm saying how many refs are on the field in a college game?
7.
And the head man stands where?
What do you mean by head man?
The guy that calls the fucking penalties. Where does he stand?
But everybody throws the penalties. You have an R.
But not everyone calls them. Not everyone turns his mic on and isn't the head rep and calls them.
The R. Yeah, so he's in the back field.
How am I supposed to know that? I'm not a ref.
That's fine. That's why I'm like trying to understand what you're asking me.
What I'm asking is there aren't 2 different set of rules. I can spear Smitty to block him. I can destroy his ass and lift him off the ground and drive him into the ground with the top of my helmet as much as I fucking want. And I'll be applauded for it, and that'll be the block of the day. But if a linebacker does it to a tight end in a tackle situation rather than a blocking situation, or a safety hits a receiver in a tackling situation rather than a blocking situation, or a tight end peels back and hits a defensive end chasing the ball, that's a penalty, but not the most vicious play in football. You want to know why they don't penalize it? Because you can't fucking play without it.
I think you're getting closer to the defenseless player and then the different set of rules for a runner.
No.
That's my only way because
defensive linemen are defenseless.
By the rules, like there's no so
he pulled the book out, man. I love
right
it.
here. This is what I do. We're
I fucking hate refs.
Preseason.
Okay, Moses. Okay, Moses. He pulled the book out.
Look at it.
But my point is, there's nothing in.
I'll pull out Huckleberry Finn. It doesn't mean I read them, motherfucker.
But there's nothing in here that says linemen different than corners and receivers.
Hold on, Moses. No, that's
you're
right.
asking that, it's like,
when did you call us a targeting penalty on a lineman? Show me one fucking targeting penalty ever on a goddamn lineman.
But that's my whole point. So you're getting into a defenseless player because none of those linemen are defenseless. So you're not going for the ball. It's one-on-one. You're not going to get a target.
Hey, Moses, I understand you completely, but his question is like, the body's still treated differently according to the referee.
I understand the difference between a receiver catching the ball going up. I get it. I played for fucking 20 years. I know. I'm saying when I'm at right guard and we run fucking counter and my job in an odd front is to run 9 fucking yards full speed.
Okay, boom.
And a 250-pound outside linebacker who's also running full speed at me to set the edge. That is the most vicious contact in football. The fullback on the Mike linebacker. That's never fucking like.
I got you.
That's some bullshit.
That's not true. All right, so
they're only called for pencil neck fucking skill players.
Not true. The blindside block. They took it out.
That
5 years ago, how many hits were there blindside? And that was a good hit.
What are you talking about?
Hold on. Because that hit, I mean, pulling, I guess, really wouldn't be blindside because you can kind of see him. He's in your periphery, so you can still
see him. They're running at each other.
But why would we take that out of the game?
We don't need to take. That's not what I'm saying. Timeout.
Okay.
I want more physicality. I want the bitch boys that can't take fucking pressure off the field.
But you're pretending as if
guys that should be figure skating playing football rather than fucking playing football. We got guys that can't fucking handle anything pressure-wise on the field when they get into real football games because the minute you blow on them, they fall over. That's because nobody can get hit anymore from the fucking front 7 to the front 5. Period.
But you're pretending as if the people that are making the rules don't care about what's going on in the trenches of the line.
No, time out. I know they don't fucking care, dog. I'm an NFL tested veteran. No, time out. I know they don't give a shit. I don't think they don't give a shit. You ask any fucking vet in the NFL, ask Coach JB, do they give a fuck about the players, dog? Or is all this just a bunch of bullshit posturing?
Nah, it is. See, let me ask you.
It's all tied to money. Let's keep it real. All this is tied to money. All the rules are tied to protect their money. The quarterback.
No, it's Karens. It's fucking parents and people that bitch about the physicality of the game.
Hey, Corey, let me ask you this, Corey. Like, majority of referees, especially in the NFL, I know they're not a lot of them, they played maybe, but they played more like, novice rec ball. They're lawyers, they're doctors. I know a lot of them. There's not a lot now. And especially I know we're in a situation where referees are on a shortage. Yeah. I know referees aren't trying to go out and be refs anymore like we once used to have because of these shitty youth parents, the shitty situations that are happening out there. I know refs are getting the blame for a lot of shit, which is a little bit unfair in my opinion. But here's the issue I got. A lot of the folks that are unfair. Here's what I'm saying though. Per pay, I believe the NFL should pay the ref for a full-time job as a ref. Not as a doctor and then part-time come over and expect to know that your eyes and hat need to be here when you're really working on a fucking law case the whole week. Like that is the problem that I see not only in the NFL but in college as well. And then you got like Division II refs reffing high-paced JUCO and then you go down and coach high school, and then they got to go do an arena league game. I know how the refs work. My buddy runs the referees in the NJCAA. He's the head of them. And I'm like, I get how they have to be placed all over. And the speed of every level changes. And it's very, very difficult on you guys. It's still a human element in this thing. But what I'm saying is we got to come up with a reason and a way to pay refs to be refs, especially at the collegiate and professional level, because it's unfair to kids to lose games and possible millions of dollars when they're suspended for a targeting that they cannot avoid biomechanically.
There it is.
So, I mean, I agree with you, and that you didn't ask a question there, but I'll just weigh in on it a little bit because I think you were getting at the talent of the refs at the collegiate level. Because we talk about the NFL refs, probably those guys, I mean, played. They understand the game. College refs, I'm not saying they didn't play, but for my second year, I'm very confident that I'm one of the top refs in my area. And I didn't think that would be the case. So, and there's a lot of reasons why. Yes, there's a shortage to the energy that Matt was coming with. You get a lot of shit. Like, and so you lose a lot of players. But like, I'm someone who I'm trying to get people, people that I grew up with, like, yo, you can do this. There's a future for it. But it takes you got to understand what's going on. So, like,
you're saying you're one of the good ones, and you're pushing the narrative to, hey, I want to do it the right way.
And we need more. And then we need more players to ref.
So I got to defend it. So I got to be able to come at you guys and say, look, this it's law at the end of the day. It's like the fucking system. I'm not going to defend and say the the system is great. But at the same time, if I'm a lawyer, if I'm law, I still got to do it to the best that I can. And then try to let people know how this is going, where it's going, so that what I said to you, coach the players so that we don't have this problem.
Shit.
When it comes to the refs, when I'm on the field, I've got to defend good and bad calls. It's a brotherhood the same way you would defend your players.
I respect what you're saying.
But when it comes to right now, preseason, behind the scenes, if we get on the same page, what do we want? We want the sport to be dope. We want physicality. We want good games. We want the best team to win. Everybody's in it for that. The refs are in it for that. At the end of the day, I don't care what side of the team you're rooting for. You want the best team to win. So,
no, I don't.
Don't think that there's a preconceived, I guess, with betting now, you never know what's going on. But don't think that the refs have some unintentional feel like they're trying to get one team to win, or to take out some of the best players. That's not why would you even be in it for that?
You don't think that the back judge last year in the Super Bowl was a fucking Kansas City Chief fan?
That was a tough call.
Yeah,
that was a tough call.
Hey, so
that was a tough call. But I don't know. Listen, you don't put me on the spot. That's what I'm saying.
No, you can don't say none of them. No,
and look, I really love the fact that you came on the show. That's fucking awesome. My question is this: the amount of studying that we have to do in order to do our job, and understanding all the terminology and everybody's job.
We as in who?
Players.
Coach JB and I talked about this yesterday. With a lot of players don't know shit and they're just playing the position they play. But there are a lot of guys who actually know everything. And I'm wondering if I were to give the ref a test on what fronts are and personnel groupings and how the game's supposed to be played and, the proper way to do a deuce and the proper way to tray and the proper way to ace and the proper way to drop and fucking curl the seam and all press and every aspect, because a ref, especially if you're the back judge, I would expect you to know all the route combinations, study the team you're playing, everything that they're doing, who has do you look at the tendencies for who gets more holding penalties? Does that sway you to throw more holding penalties? Do you guys actually study? Because I'm of the mindset that the refs go from their fucking 9 to 5 straight to the field. And they're just like, oh, that was a flag. And you're like, motherfucker, that's the way I was taught to do the shit. And it makes me furious because the refs have so much control over a game that they're not really invested in.
So that's two different things. Because you asked if they know about the route combinations.
So when I look at you and I say, when I say what is 13 personnel, tight end heavy, under Sam Stack, strong safety force, cover one fence man. They're going to go cover 3. They're going to fucking slide protect it left, 3-man. They're going to bring the squeeze gap on the backside. Like, Ken, does that all resonate?
So I know that because I played. So like I know personnel. I know what's going on the field at all times because I played. The percentage. So again, I've done high school for 6, college for 2, and I'm kind of on a fast track because I'm comfortable on the field. The percentage of college refs, I think right now, and I don't think it's a bad thing, but I would say probably about.
Be careful.
I know.
Don't say anything.
It's low. It's low. So the answer is no. Not a lot of people know what's going on. But do they need to
have the fucking job?
Do they need to though? Because
yes.
No, I don't think you need to know the personnel. I don't think you need to know the route because
in order to ref the game.
All right, so I mean, I'll stay with the deeps as a back judge or as one of the deep refs. Your key is you have like one player pre-snap, and then as the thing forms, it's almost like you're playing, like you're in covering a zone. It would help to know on 3rd and 9, know this key to sticks, stuff like that. I can't even communicate things like that. But if you just stick to what you are supposed to, you should be able to get the call you're supposed to. Being able to fish in someone else's pond and like really know, all right, this guy's probably going to go here. If you miss that call, I can get that for you. That makes a really good ref, right? And then you're moving out like, hey, appreciate that, but whatever. But to your other question, do we watch film? Do we have stuff pre-game? Yes, we do like, all right, we got so-and-so versus so-and-so this week. Heavy run, heavy, third, like, yes, there's
Garrett Bowles is going to hold his ass off this week. Watch him.
I mean, at this level, we don't know the names and stuff like that, but 100% we're watching film. You're there 2 hours before the game. You have a meeting during the week of, so it is a lot. And if that doesn't prepare you for the week ahead, you are going to fall by the wayside just because, I mean, hopefully there's enough talent to come in and say, like be able to throw those good flags. So it still is weeding of the crops. I mean, there's a little bit of politics in it. There's a little bit of, being able to study your ass off and just know the rule book, but that doesn't really translate to like being able to handle coaches, handle the players, dead ball officiating. There's a lot that goes into officiating that from your point of view as a player, you just want, between the whistle just to make it as physical as possible. That's great. But when we all look at each other, the good refs, there's more to it. It's not just one thing. It's not even just being able to play and know what's coming. Because shit, when the ball's in the air, like there's so much that I naturally want to do, but as a ref now I can't do. So
hey, Corey, let me ask you before you get out, man. I can't thank you enough, man. Much respect to you. And it seems like you're on a fast track because some people have the it factor and some people don't. I clearly see you have that it factor. I coach quarterbacks my first year ever coaching. The next year I'm a JUCO OC. I get it. That thing really does matter in my opinion, the it factor. This is my point to you. Do you guys in the back row know what a high-low is, let's say, in the box? Are you able to – does everybody on the field, as far as referees, know every single scenario? So if a box judge or the umpire, the umpire is where the mic backer is, right?
So they're moving it now, I would say, throughout the whole sport so that the U and the R in the backfield.
All right, so they know – do they know what PI is as well, or do they just focus on the box?
The U and the R are not throwing the PIs. But that's what I was going to say.
Do they even know about what it would be?
Yeah, definitely. Because we're at the beginning of the season, we're all in the same. At the beginning of the season, we're all in the same meetings, and then as it gets closer, we start to filter out to like, this is what you need to learn about going into this week. So they know what it is.
Bro, are you throwing the flag on a high-low?
And if I see it, I will.
All right. So let me ask you this. To Matt's point and get you out of here, man. I can't thank you enough. If you ever need anything, let me know, man. I know a lot of big time referees in this business that run a lot of things, and I'll try to help you out. here's the thing I got to say. Like, you just stated to Matt's question, like not knowing the full game and should you know it, etc. I got to ask, would you let, like, do you think the lawyer that's his main job, coaching in a Super Bowl, do you think he would let Andy Reid come in and fucking litigate for him half the time? That's my issue. That's like my issue. Yeah, I think we need to have full-time refs because I don't think it's fair to our sport, and I don't think it would be fair to your profession if you were a lawyer for Andy Reid to come in there and fucking pick somebody's fucking jury trial. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick, Corey, before you jump. So in the refs' defense, though, let's be real as former players, though, y'all, Matt, JB, all of you guys. A lot of players didn't know what the fuck was going on the field.
No,
they played. Let's keep it real. That's keep it real.
That I'm learning now. Some of these players, they don't even know the rules.
Even me as a D lineman, I didn't necessarily know everybody's job at all time. It was like see a little, see a lot. See a little, see a lot.
Bad job by your coach, though.
Sure, I mean you can say that, sure, but
I had refs come in. I had refs come in every practice and every scrimmage, and as much as I can. And not only did they on the field, we had meetings in our classrooms with the ref come in, and I'd give my players a test because I wanted to know where the knee pad height was supposed to be. So you fucking don't get a penalty for knee pads being too high. I wanted to know what the jersey tuck was. Where's the hold? What do you guys consider a hold? Is it inside the shoulder pad? Is it in the tit? Within the titties? Is it inside the shoulder? I want to know these things, and I want my players to know because I want an advantage.
That's very good, and I don't think enough coaches and players emphasize that part, like how much is on you to know some of this so you don't ask me in the middle of a game what's going on. My last point will be there's 7 refs. So if you're talking about like one ref here or one ref there that doesn't know what's going on, the other 6 can either throw that flag, pick that flag up, which I think you're going to see a lot more of. If you threw a bad flag by instinct, sometimes you just throw it. The other point is then sometimes you also know, damn, that was, I didn't mean to throw that flag. Have a conversation. I don't know. I don't want to speak for like what we're going to see on Saturdays and Sundays as far as there's no flag on the play or just being able to have that conversation, drop your ego. Hey, he got him, but it wasn't enough to throw that flag. So I think as more people like myself speak up, even though I'm young, like I feel like 10 years ago that the me that was a second year wouldn't say shit. But now I'm feeling more confident of, hey, man, I know you've been doing this for a long time. That was a bad flag. Pick that up. So, and it may come from like you guys like voicing and then being able to say, okay, full-time rep. This guy can do this full-time. So it's headed in the right direction. Where we are today, by all means, I think these conversations lead us there of this is a problem. Like that could have been a difference of a game or a fucking soup, like a championship. Like it's the weight is getting heavier. So I don't know. I'm just saying there's 7 refs. You guys play a part. The players play a part. The fans play a part. Everybody, and I think at the end of the day, we all want the same outcome. So how we get there, shit, it might just be having tough conversations like this. And
hey, man,
man. Great. That was fucking awesome. Great job.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on, Corey. We'll have you on again, man. Much love to you.
Keep watching, dog.
Bye, brother. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Later, Corey.
That was dope, man. That was dope.
Do you think that the rules you think the rules are putting a burden on these refs too, though? Like they have to do their job and abide by their rules, just like we do.
I almost feel bad for them, like to a point, because it's like I hate the rules that they're in like trying to institute. I think they're ridiculous a lot of the time, and I don't think it's manageable. I think that it's going to ruin the game eventually. Just like we've seen how many games influenced by goddamn penalties at the end of the game. Like it's almost, if I want to make a bet on a game, I need to know what referee crew is working the game. So I don't, because like certain ref crews are just flag happy, bro. So, I understand that they have a job to do, but so do we. And no offense to the refs, but the players are way more important than they are. And I wish that they would be there to call egregious penalties that everybody knows a penalty instead of ticky-tack holding, ticky-tack pass interference, ticky-tack holding penalties. You touch the guy like you brush shoulders, that's a flag. The fucking pass or the quarterback, You know, roughing the quarterback stuff is ridiculous. Yes, there needs to be rules, but there was roughing the quarterback rules back in the day when they used to kill the quarterback. Yeah, there was still, you couldn't like jam him into the ground and hit him in the head. That was always a penalty.